Memory allocations, no memory for method, no memory will allocate for method because method is not holding any data. Method is contain a collection of statements called logic. So that's why it will never allocate get any memory. Similarly, no memory will allocate for class because class is a container which contain collection of members, which is also not holding any data, and as well as class is a logical representation. Memory will allocate for class members at the time of object is creating, that is physical representation, it is logical. And what about memory will allocate for what? Memory will allocate, memory will allocate
Only for
for fields. For what, fields. Here fields, fields means variables and constants. At present our discussion more concentration on variables, so let's discuss about variables memory allocation. Let's understand about first local variable, second instance variable, third static variable. When the memory will allocate for local variable, right? When the Kalyani, you tell me when the memory will allocate for local variable.
Whenever we declare the variable and initialize that.
Yeah, here this understanding is very important. When memory will allocate for local variable.
Whenever method is called.
Right. When memory will allocate for local variable. Yeah.
During the execution.
Right. Answer is as part of method execution.
As part of method execution.
As part of method execution. As part of method execution. Next to when memory will deallocate for local variable.
And method execution is done.
Right. When memory will allocate for local variable. Local variable. When memory will allocate for local variable. Answer is, any idea, guys? Answer is
And the method execution is completed.
once method. See, Babu, this is very very important. The reason is in OOPS we are not just touching just a front end. We are touching back end. Back end means nothing but we are touching complete inner things, inner memory allocations. Every program memory allocations I'll show you how I was tracing in control statements. Here also will trace, and internally object is creating, where it is creating, reference variable is creating, where it is creating, instance variable is creating, where it is creating, static variable is creating, how it is creating, where it is creating, method is where it is, like that. Very inner things I'll teach you that will give you very good confidence like anything. So subject means subject you should enjoy when you are learning, so that will give you lot of kick for you, right? When memory will deallocate for local variable, once method execution is completed, once method execution is completed. When memory will deallocate for local variable, once method execution is completed. First two we will identify the two practically. Okay, so then we'll go to the next level. When memory will allocate for local variable as part of the method execution, when memory will deallocate for local variable once method execution is completed. Right. So now, yeah, let's try to understand here. Yeah, let's go for programming. Then it will be easy for you to understand. Memory allocation, deallocation for local variable. So already are we declaring some local variables?
Yes, sir.
Are we using local variables every day? Yes, because till the time we are writing programming within a method called what main. There so local variables we are using till the time. So local variables are already very much familiar for us. Already very much familiar for us. So, but we didn't concentrate about memory allocations. Now we are going to concentrate. Okay, right. So in my OOPS especially, tracing plus memory allocations is the highlight. In logical programs, tracing is the highlight. Here memory allocations are going to improve. Right. you declared a program like this. You observe, guys. Into A equal to 10. Into B equal to 5. Into C. So enough. These two variables are enough, right? Okay, otherwise into C equal to 20. Observe what's happening. When you run the application, what will happen? When you run the
Still get the
application, what will happen? Program execution starts by
mm.
main
Main.
method. Program execution starts by main method. You can observe the memory allocations. I'm showing you in the digital board. You observe. Right. Program execution started. Program execution started. 1 minute. Right. Execution started. Okay. Right. Now you see. CLR started program execution from here. First, this statement is executed. Because of this statement, one variable is created. The variable
Looks like your screen got stuck. I don't know if it is for me or everyone.
I have
Screen was frozen.
The screen is freeze.
1 minute. I freezed only. Are you able, 1 minute? 1 minute. Are you able to see a box? My red pen I am.
Now we can.
Now it comes. Not came. Now it came.
Okay. Sometimes network is slow, na? It's fine. Now you got it. Are you able to see now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now this statement execution, one variable is created. What is a variable A? This statement A equal to 10. Memory is allocated for this. As part of method execution, this statement got the first memory. Second, this statement is executing. It is allocating the memory for B, 5. And this is allocating the memory for what? C, 20. Total how many variables are allocated?
3.
3. But you can observe the 3 variables are not got the memory at a time. These variables are getting the memory as part of the what method of execution. As part of the method of execution. Once control is encountered the closing brace, means once you press enter, readline will be closing the window and main method execution is completed. Once main method execution is completed, all the 3 variables will be destroyed. All the 3 variables will be destroyed. Means local variables are getting the memory as part of the method execution. First one, second two, third, fourth. But all the 3-4 variables are destroyed in one shot once method execution is
Complete.
completed. Once method execution is completed. That is a story about what is that?
Memory allocation.
Memory allocation and deallocation for which variables?
Local.
Local variables. Right. Next. Yeah, next question. When the memory will allocate for instance variable. 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 Come on.
The object is created.
When the object is created, instantiated.
Yeah. When the object is creating. So when the object is creating. So when the memory will allocate for instance variable, when the object is creating. Who has to create the object? Programmer. Who will create the object? Who will create the object? Answer is what? Programmer. Programmer. Programmer is going to create the object according to his requirement. Okay, next two. So with this we understood that memory will allocate for instance variable, because instance is nothing but what? Object. Instance is nothing but what? Object. That object is getting the memory, that instance variable is getting the memory when the object is creating for your class, for class. Okay, who will create the object? Object is going to create by the programmer. Next, when the memory will deallocate for instance variable. When the memory will deallocate for instance variable. When the,
When the object will be
Destroying
destroyed.
the object.
when the memory will deallocate for instance variable. Answer is what?
When we destroy
When the
the
object will be
Object is
destroyed.
destroyed. Once object is destroyed. When the memory will deal, because completely you can observe one thing, instance variable is related to completely what? Instance is nothing but object. Instance is nothing but object. Memory will allocate for instance variable when the object is creating. Memory will deallocate for instance variable once object is destroyed. Once object is destroyed. Okay, right. Next to once object is destroyed. Okay, when the object will destroy. When the object will destroy. When the object will destroy. Right. Yeah. Answer is object may destroy. Object may destroy two ways. Number one, by garbage collector, that you remember. In .NET, garbage collector is a part of CLR. It will perform the memory management. So as part of this memory management, garbage collector will destroy the objects. Number two, by programmer also. Sometimes the object may destroy. So when garbage collector will destroy, when programmer will destroy, that we'll see later. But up to that you remember that the memory will destroy for instance variable when the object is destroyed. Object to destroy, who will destroy? Who will destroy the object?
garbage collector and program.
When who will
Garbage collector.
who will destroy the who will who will destroy objects?
Garbage collector.
Destroy objects. Answer is object may destroy two ways, by garbage collector or by programmer. By programmer. Okay, right. It can be by garbage collector or by what? Programmer. Okay, right.
Program.
Object may destroy two ways, by garbage collector. Second is what? By programmer. Right. So that is the story about this one. Right. Next two. That's it. Object may destroy two ways, either by garbage collector or two by programmer. Right? Yeah. Next to this is you remember. Try to remember. Next we'll go for static variable. When the we see here we need to understand few things. You know what is that? When the memory will allocate for instance variable. When the object is creating. First here we need to understand how object will create. How to create a object. Next who will create the object means programmer. So that we need to understand. We need to understand how to create object, and when we create an object, how the memory will allocate for instance variable, where the memory will allocate, we need to understand. As part of programming, we are going to understand. And the memory is destroying for instance variable, deallocating for instance variable once object is destroyed. Here we need to understand who will destroy the object. Object may destroy by garbage collector or by programmer. Here we need to understand when an object is going to destroy by the garbage collector, when an object is going to destroy by the programmer. Next, when the memory will allocate for static variable. When the memory will allocate for which variable? Static variable. Answer. When the memory will allocate for static variable. Answer. When the memory will allocate for static variable. Static.
When program.
Instance means object. Static means class. Static means class. So memory will allocate for static variable when the class is loading. When the class is loading. When the class is loading. Okay. Right. Next two. So when class will load, we don't know. We have to learn that also. When the memory will deallocate for static variable. When the memory will deallocate for static variable. Answer. When the class is unloading. 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 So that is the story. So when the class will load, when the class will unload, we don't know. That we have to learn. Are you clear? So that is the story about this. Okay, that we have to learn. Now this is the total story. Okay, guys, right. Okay, I'm sending everything through chat for you. May content this much content will come. Yeah, you have received by programmer. I think you didn't receive full part. You received only half of the part, I think, right? Yes, now you see. Now you receive remaining part. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go through it fast.
Yes.
5 minutes time. Memory will allocate for method.
No.
Any memory will allocate for class? No.
No.
Any
No.
memory will allocate for variables?
Yes.
Yes.
Why? Because which is holding some data. Why variables are getting memory? Because which are holding some data. When the memory will allocate for local variable.
The method execution
During method
When the
execution.
memory will allocate for local variable. Come on.
During
as a
method
part of
execution.
Class loading.
method execution.
When the memory will allocate for local variable. Answer is what?
Method execution. During method
As
execution.
a method
When the
execution.
class loads.
When the memory will allocate for local variable. As part of what?
Method execution.
Method execution.
For local variable as part of method execution. When the memory will deallocate for local variable.
Once
When
method
method execution is over.
Once method
When
execution
method execution is complete.
completed. When the memory will allocate for instance variable.
And the object is
When the
When
object
the
is
object is
created
created.
Right.
Creating.
The object is
or
creating for
created.
class. When
Created.
the memory will allocate. Who will create the object?
program.
Programmer.
When the memory will deallocate for instance variable.
once the object is
When the object is
When the
destroyed.
object is
Once
destroyed by garbage
who will
collector.
destroy the object?
by
Garbage
Collector or
collector
programmer.
programmer.
It will be destroyed two ways, either by garbage collector or by programmer. When the memory will allocate for static variable.
when the class
When the class is loading.
When the memory will deallocate for static variable.
When the
When
class
the class is unloading.
When the class is unloading. Okay, so this is the story. Right. Now I am going to write, just remember this point, and I am going to write a small program. In this program, what I am going to define? I am going to define one instance, one class with two instance variables and one instance method. Observe. Class, my class, class, my class, class, and what is that? My class. Into A, into B. A and B are what?
local variable.
What variable?
Instance variable. Instance variable.
instance variable.
A and B are instance variables. Internal void display. Internal void display. Okay. A,
non-static.
let's say b equal to 5. So what I have done, these two variables are initialized within the method, and display is a method. Which method?
Non-static.
Void method.
Instance.
Instance method. Instance method.
Void method.
Yeah, void, parameterless, all those things are okay. Whether it is instance or static.
Instance.
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 Console dot write line. Console dot write line. A value is A. Console dot write line. B value is B. B value is B. B value is B. A value is A and B value is B. Okay now? So finally you are defining a method. What is the method name? Display. Display method is a instance method. From main method I want to consume this display method. I want to consume this display method. Then what I have to do? How to consume? How to call the display?
We have to call this.
Create object.
Yes.
Create object of the
Create
class.
object.
Create instance of the class.
My class name dot
My class.
If you want to consume my class members, like instance members, first of all, you want to invoke the method. If you want to invoke the method, you need what? Object. As well as here, that method is consuming how many instance variables? To get the memory, to allocate the memory for these two instance variables also you need what?
Object creation.
Object creation. Here you need object for two reasons. Number one is to allocate the memory for instance variables. To invoke the instance method, you need to create object for which class?
My class.
Class.
My
That
class.
is the purpose of object. That is the purpose of object. Purpose of object is, what is the purpose of object? To
allocate memory.
allocate memory for
Instance
variables.
And to invoke instance method.
invoke the instance.
To invoke instance method. To allocate memory for instance variables. To invoke instance method, you need to create what? Object. You need to create what? Object. You need to create. Why you need to create object? To allocate the memory for instance.
Variable.
To invoke.
Instance.
Invoke
Instance.
instance.
Invoke instance method.
Invoke instance method, you need to create what? Object. Now, what is an object? What is an object? So like
Object is an instance of class.
wait. An object is a instance of a class. Instance of a class, nothing but an object is a physical representation of a class which is logical representation. Here, an object is instance of a class. Class is a logical representation. That logical representation, physical representation is nothing but what? Object. For example, you can observe, human being is a class. You and me are objects of human being class. House plan is a class. My house and your house are objects for house plan class. Like that. So what you can say, employee is a class. John and David are objects of employee class. Student is a class. And Rama and Sita are objects of student class. Like that. Object is an instance of a class which is a physical representation of a class because class is a logical representation. So that is a story. Right. What is an object here? Yeah. Right. Right. Uma, what is an object?
Object is a instance of class. An object is a physical representation of a class.
Class. Okay. Yes. You can see here. Human being is a class. Human being is a class. Me and you are all objects. You are all objects of human being class. Okay. Next. Employee is a class. Okay. John, David, and so on are objects. Okay. Student is a class, and Rama, Sita, you're all objects of student class, like that. Okay. Right. Next to what an object will contain. What an object will contain. What an object will contain. Right. Very simple. We are all objects of human being class. Me and you. What we contain in our physical representation, we contain some states. What are the states? Common states we have: height, weight, color, number of eyes, number of legs, like that. These are all what states, nothing but fields. And what other we contain some behaviors. What are the behaviors? Speaking, eating, walking, these are all behaviors. Finally, you can say an object will contain fields and states and behaviors. The two, which states an object will contain what is that, instance variables, and addresses of instance methods or behaviors. An object will contain instance variables and addresses of instance methods. Reference or address of instance method your object will contain. Okay, so that is the story. Finally, we can say an object, y object, to allocate the memory for instance variables. That's the reason the object contain instance variables. Okay, to invoke the instance method, because object is having address of the instance method. Okay, right. Next, we need to understand syntax to create object. Syntax to create what? Object. We need to understand syntax to create what? Object. Okay. Yes. Syntax to create what? Object. Okay. Now, yeah, tell me, what is the syntax to create object?
Class
New
name, class name,
Right.
address, the variable,
Class name,
object name,
reference variable name equal to new, again class name of class name of class name reference variable name equal to new class name of okay, right. So that is the story. So syntax to create object is class name, or for which class you are going to create, and reference variable name, and the new, again class name. Here new is a keyword and operator which will create the object, here class name of is nothing but constructor. Class name of is nothing but constructor. Let's try to understand the syntax for this, how it will create. Try to understand uh, in how many steps it will execute. Yes, here you need to understand this will execute in how many steps, you need to understand. So whenever you have LHS and RHS, which will execute first?
RHS,
RHS,
Yeah, RHS. In RHS also, first what will execute here?
The class name.
Class name.
new keyword.
Class name of. Right. Let us assume we have a class called my class. Let us assume we have a class called my class. Now, uh, creating object for my class. creating object for my class. Okay. Step by step by step, step by step object creation. Object creation. How this object will create, the steps we'll see. You remember? I'm giving you here. I'll give you the order. You remember, and you have to tell me when I'm trying. Yeah. First, in this you can observe it is LHS, it is RHS. You know very well. First RHS will execute. In RHS, first new will execute. New will create the object. Second, class name of will execute. Nothing but constructor is calling. Next, third, reference variable will create. Fourth, assignment operator will execute. Assignment operator will execute. My question is, why we are calling it as a reference variable?
Because it holds a address where it is object is present.
Yeah, think
I
one
don't
more time. Why we are calling it as a reference variable? Because whenever you are declaring a variable, the syntax is what? Data type and variable name. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Data type.
Yes, sir.
Because it's a reference type.
Yes.
It's a reference type.
Data type and variable. Data types are how many types? Two types. Value type,
Types,
reference type.
Reference type.
reference.
Reference types. Which are value types?
Primitive data types 1 to 4 value type.
Not like that. Standard is structure, enumerator.
In enumerators,
Reference types are what?
classes,
Object.
delegates, interfaces.
Delegates. Delegates. Okay, now you see. Your variable type is what?
Class
Class. Class is what type? Value type or reference type?
reference type.
That's right. This is called a reference variable.
Reference type.
This is called you understood?
Yes, sir.
You see, now this concept is touching the few days back your topic called value types and reference types. Right? Yeah, connectivity is like that. We have to get the connectivity. Reference variable because the variable data type is what? Class name. Class. But class is what type? Reference type. Okay, now?
Yes, sir.
Right. 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 Next, come back to our discussion. Now, step by step object creation. Try to understand. According to that, yes. First of all, create object for my class. We'll try to create object for my class. Yes. Tell me. Tell me. Class name is what? My class.
My class.
Reference variable name, let's say OBJ. OBJ. User class name is my class. And
New my class.
My class function.
And this
semicolon. Semicolon. You are created now object. Now we will try to understand the step by step object creation. Step by step object creation. According to that, yes. Right. What will happen? Let's try to understand. What will happen? Come on, tell me. First, what will happen?
Object will be created.
You will allocate the memory for my class.
New
What
object
will
will
it-
created
Now,
for
your
class.
in this first step, step 1, step 1, step 1. In step 1, control will execute what? New. New. New, because RHS will execute. New will create object. Object for which class?
My class.
My class.
My class.
Let us assume it is created one object. Object of which class? My class.
My
Yeah.
class.
I didn't declare any members in the my class. That's why I'm showing empty. and that object address in the memory is 1010. Assume like that. Address of the object memory is 1010. Right. After this, this is first step and second step. So here, what executed? New. New executed. Because of new, this is happened. Next to step 2. In step 2, it is executing what? Constructor.
My class.
What? Constructor. My class of. But in our program, we didn't define any constructor, but we don't know about this also what is happening. For some time, just to you feel yourself here, constructor is executing. How it will execute, we'll see later. Next, by this time, RHS execution is completed. Now, in step 3, what will happen? A reference variable will create. What is that? My class obj. My class obj. In this step, what is happening? Already object is created. It is available. That is what object of my class is available. Assume that it is already available. What is the assumption? It is real. Now, LHS, because of this statement, one reference variable is created, obj. But obj is a data type of which data type?
My class.
Reference type.
Default value of the reference variable will be null. Whenever reference variable is created, default it will contain null. You can observe here RHS, here you contain data. The data type is my class and the data address is 1010, and LHS contain a variable. The name of the variable is obj. The obj data type is my class. The obj data type is what? My class. Step 3 execution understood everybody? Now, step 4, what is going to happen? In step 4, what is going to happen? In step 4, what is going to happen? So, 1 is over, 2 is over, 3 is over. 3 is also over. Now it's going for what? 4. 4 is nothing but what operator?
Assignment operator.
Assignment operator. This assignment operator is going to do what? Assignment operator is going to do what? Yes. It is going to assign the, see, observe, assignment operator. I am explaining step 4 also here only. It is going to execute what? It is going to assign the RHS. See, here LHS variable is what variable? OBJ. OBJ type?
My class.
My class. Value type variable or reference type variable?
Reference type.
Reference type.
Reference type variable, value type variable. Main difference is what?
Null, null
It has
value.
the address of. It has the address of the.
Actual data and another one
Value
is
type
the
variable
address.
will be storing into stack. Reference type variable will be.
Memory.
Second difference is what?
It has the address of the actual variable.
Includes the
Value
memory
type
address.
variable will contain the actual data. Reference type variable will contain the
Address of the
address of the data.
Address of-
OBJ is because of assignment operator, it will assign RHS to LHS. What it will assign? Here OBJ is a reference type variable. That's why it will assign the address of the data. Object is nothing but data. What is address? 1010. That's why this reference variable is pointing to this address, this data address. Are you clear now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Are you clear? So value type variable, that day we discussed value type variable will contain the actual data. Reference type variable will contain the address of the data. Here OBJ is a reference type variable. Why it is reference type variable? Because the data type of this variable is my class. My class is a class. Class is a reference type. That's the reason the variable contain address of the data. Here 1010 is the address of the data. Data is nothing but object here. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Clear everybody?
Yes.
A little confusion, sir. Maybe with example you can clear it out.
No. You should understand. There is no chance of a confusion here. You should understand. That's it.
So can you explain step 3, please?
Right. We'll do one thing. Right. Now I am explaining all that together. You observe. First, in this line, you need to understand how many steps are there. One,
Four.
4 steps.
two, three,
Three.
four.
Four.
Four. Four.
Four.
See, people will not touch all these areas. Everybody teach .NET Java, but behind .NET is an object-oriented programming platform. Java is an object-oriented programming platform. Your main concentration should be that OOPS only. Okay. Tomorrow you will switch to any new other platform also. If you have this type of knowledge, you can survive like anything. Okay. Now you see. First what new? Now I am explaining clearly again. First new. Okay. In one place I will explain. Then it will be clear for you. I hope. New is creating object. New is creating object. So you can say it is one object. Object of my class. That object is nothing but you can say data. Assume that it is a data. We don't have any data, but assume that address of the object is 1010. 1010 is address. Number 2, it will invoke the constructor. But here we didn't discuss much about constructor. That's why just leave it. It will invoke the constructor. Remember it. Now RHS execution is completed. As part of the RHS execution, one object is created. That object to type is my class, address is 1010. Next, LHS will create. LHS will create a variable because it is a syntax of variable. Data type, variable name. And the variable data type is my class. Variable data type is my class. That variable default value is null. Why? Because a reference type variable default value, if you didn't initialize, first it will contain null. Okay. Now, yes. So, third is also over. Next, fourth. Always you see int string s equal to console dot readline. Same story. It is also almost all. Now, control is going to execute assignment operator. That assignment operator at duty is what? RHS to LHS. Here RHS contain a data that is object of which type my class. LHS contain a variable of which type my class. But here OBJ is not a value type variable. OBJ is a reference type variable. Why? Because OBJ type is not structure. OBJ type is not enumerator. OBJ type is a class. Class is a reference type. That's why reference type variable. Now control is a assignment
Excuse
operator.
me.
Yeah.
No, the audio was lost when you was explaining about the address. Can you repeat it from there, please?
Yeah. Which one? Third pointer. Third one. Huh?
No, when you was explaining about the address 1010, I lost the audio.
Let me explain. First, yes. First, yeah. Here, first control will execute RHS. In RHS, first it will execute new. If you tell me what new will do,
Create the object.
new will create the object. New will allocate the memory for object. That object of which type object? My class. My class. So let us assume it has some data. Assume. And that address of the object is, let us assume in the memory, it is located in some 1010 address. Next, it will execute my class of. My class of is a concept called constructor. Constructor will come in future, but you remember after new constructor will call. But at present in our class, we don't have concept called constructor. Just assume like that it will call. Finally, RHS execution is completed. Now control is going for LHS. In LHS third step means variable. Here it is syntax of variable. Variable syntax. Data type, variable name. Here OBJ is a variable name. My class is a data type. but my class is a class. That's why you can say it is a reference variable. Obj is a reference variable. That variable data type is my class. Default value of the reference type variables will be null. It will contain default null value. Now control will execute fourth step is assignment operator. Assignment operator will assign RHS data into LHS. But here RHS data is a my class reference type data and reference type variable. That's why it will not hold the data. It will hold the address of the data. Address of the data is 1010. That's why this variable will be pointing to this data like this. Now clear all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is the story. So you do one thing. Yeah, if you want to get more clarity about this, you better to do one thing. You better do one thing. What you can do, I will give you small one simple class. Okay, you try for like that class. Sorry, class name is, let's say there is a class C1. Assume that there is a class called C1. Yes. So I'm creating object. First you create in your books, you create object for C1 class, all of you. You try to create object for C1 class, all of you. Yeah, created.
Yes, sir.
What is that? C1 obj equal to new C1.
New C1 of.
Right? Now created all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now do the memory allocation. Do the memory allocation. Now you do the memory allocation. Whatever I have done. Right. Yeah. First, which will execute RHS.
No.
First, what will execute new. New. What you will do? You will
Create an object.
No objects.
you will create an object. Okay. Mainly, OOPS will consume lot of time for in our training. First OOPS, second even the ADO.NET. Even the ADO.NET also not that much. OOPS only because of all these things. Object of C1. C1 is what? Class.
Class.
Assume some data is there. 1010 is the address. 1010 is what? Address. Next to call the constructor. It will call the constructor. Next RHS execution completed, which is created object. Next LHS. LHS will create a variable. LHS will create a variable. That variable type is C1. The C1 is also a class and the default value is what? Null. Default value is null. Okay, right. Next, control will execute assignment operator. That assignment operator will assign address. 1010, and this is holding this object. This is the story. Are you able to do this?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Let's
Yes.
start program. Let's, if you are clear, we can go ahead for programming. Okay. Next, yes. Yeah. Now, before entering into programming, let's try to understand the understanding UML representation of a class. Whenever they will design the project, so the classes will be, before writing the programming, they will represent in the form of UML. UML is one of the designing language, Unified Model Language. UML I'm going to show you the UML class diagram now. How to represent a class with the help of UML. Right. Just observe this.
So what is UML?
UML is a unified modeling language. UML is a unified modeling language. Generally, you can say it is a designing language. Nothing but before we are going for project, the project after understanding the project requirements, the architect of the project will design design the solution in the form of UML. To design the solution, first to design the project, who will design this? Architect will design to design the project. They will use UML. In the UML format, they will design the project. They will represent UML, and based on this UML, programmer will go for what? Coding. With the help based on the UML whatever given by the UML by the architect, the developer will use those UMLs. With the help of UML, they will go for what? Solution is nothing but coding. To do your coding, your classes will be represented in the form of what UMLs, like a house plan, similar like a house plan, and then we'll go for construction like that. So I'm going to show you one UML structure of UML, how to represent a class in the form of UML, right? In the form of UML, right? Yeah, right. Just I'm showing here in the like Word file. You can see just UML
So
diagram.
we can't see your screen.
No, you can. UML diagram. Are you able to see? No.
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Today network is slow. It seems that's why I'm opening. You are getting after 5 seconds. Right. Now here you can see here three fields are there. Three fields in the table. I'm representing three fields here. Three fields are there. Okay. First field is to represent the class name. Second field is to represent the states, class level states. States are nothing but variables like instance variable and static variable. Third field is for what? Behaviors.
Sir, can't see your screen.
One second. It will come slowly. Right. Guys, are you able to see my MS Word file?
Yes, sir. I
No,
think
sir.
for some people it is getting immediately, and for some people it is lags, sir.
Yeah.
For me, I can see the screen.
So I just see the new link to join live.net class.
Wait. Right. Yeah, somebody getting able to see, somebody are unable to see. Yeah. Right. Now I opened Word file. Observe this, all of you.
Can't see, sir.
Okay. Who are unable to see?
Uma, sir.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Everybody are able to see?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
You sir. Right?
Okay, everybody, right? Anybody are only Uma, I think. I think Uma, the structure I am explaining, you try to assume table. Table contain three fields. Three rows. First row to represent the name of the class. Second row is to represent the states. States nothing but in your class, suppose you have any instance variable or static variable, class level variables. Okay, third row in the table, third row will contain behaviors of the class. Behaviors are nothing but constructors and methods. Constructors, methods, whatever it is, behaviors. Okay, so that is
So what about the second one?
second one.
States.
States nothing but states means don't consider local variables, only class level variables. Class level variables are two. Number one, instance variable and static variable. whenever you are designing a class, in the first row you need to represent the name of the class. Second row you need to represent the states of the class like instance variable, static variable, and third row you should represent the methods of the class, behaviors, nothing but methods. Right? Clear? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now come back to our discussion. Right. So now let's start our programming part now. Programming by C#.net. Till the time in C#.net we have written, till the time in C#.net we have written a simple programming without, it's not a object oriented programming. Just we have written code only within the main method. First time we are going to write our own classes. Okay. So now, yes, let's say I'm going to write first example. First we'll go with very basic level because understanding that object creation is giving somewhat confusion. Let's try to understand. Slowly launching will be very slow. Okay, right. You observe. Uh, Example to define a class. Now, Uma, are you able to see notepad now what I'm typing?
Yes, sir. I can't see your screen, but I'm trying to just write down.
Why you are unable to see the screen? There is some problem from your side, it seems. Are you able to see? Because I'm typing in notepad right now.
No, sir, I can't see.
Everybody, remaining people, what about you?
We can
We
see.
can see.
Tell me, I selected
We
something.
can see.
I selected something in my screen. What is that? Read it. What is that?
As programming in OOPS by C#.net.
Right. Everybody are able to
C#.net.
programming in OOPS by using C#.net.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Uma, you have a screen. Some issue came for you. You better log off and log in.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Do it fast. Anybody else?
No, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Now we'll see. Example to define a class with two instance. Okay, let's say one instance method. Example to define a class with one instance method, that is void method without parameters. That is one instance method, that is void method, only one method. I am going to define one class. The class contain one instance method. That method also not non-void. It's a void method without parameters. No parameters, but return type is void. Return type is void. Come on. Got it, all of you? Right, huh?
Yes, sir.
Right, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Right. Able to see screen now, Uma?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Now, whenever you have the requirement like this, first we will go to the UML. First we'll design the UML. Class name. Now you are able to see Word file also?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. Now here we need to represent the class name. Class name is, let's say, my class. And no states. And behavior is only one behavior. That too, I said it's a what method? Void method without parameters. Okay. Internal void method name is let's say print or show. Method name is show. So here I said it's a void method. I said it's a parameterless method. I said it's an instance method. Instance method, not static method. And access modifier, while you are defining a method, you should use access modifier. You remember up to some time when you are defining class, Don't use any access modifier. You write class, class name, open the brace, close the brace. But while you are defining any method, just simply you use a access modifier called internal. So at the time of access modifiers discussion, you will get more and more clarity. Up to that you follow it. Okay. Now this is your design. Here my requirement is the functionality of show method is whenever you call this method, you should display a message called show method is calling. It should display a message called show method is calling. Now we need to go with this program. Now let's go with this program. Let's see the example image. Yeah, method example 1. Some name I am giving. Method example 1. Now first we need to define what class. First we need to define what class. Right. I said when you are defining the class, don't use any access modifier. Come on, tell me.
Class.
Class, my class.
What is a class name? Class. Right. Your class is defined. You are defined your class. Okay now. Next within the class, come on. To define all methods. Only one method. What is the method? Show. At the time of defining the class, I am telling you for some time, don't use any access modifier. You can use, but here my class is the class name and class is the keyword. But whether you remembered or not, in the beginning I told to you, according to the coding standards, whenever you define a class, the class, every word should start with capital letter. Here M capital, C also capital, like that. Come on, tell me. Okay. Next method. You are defining a method. By default, use an access modifier called internal. Internal void. Method name is show. Even though I don't, according to the coding standard, method name also should start with what? Capital letter. Follow it, all these things. Okay. The functionality of this method is just printing a message called show method is calling. Show method is calling. So to print something, console.print show method is calling some message. Show method is calling. Right. That's it. Show method is calling. Now, as a programmer, you define your own class right now. The class name is what?
My class.
My class. My class contain how many members?
One.
That member is a method or stata?
Method.
Method. Is it instance method or static method?
Instance method.
Instance. Is it void method or non-void method?
Void method.
Why it is void? Why it is void?
It's not returning anything.
Not returning any value static message. Is it parameterized or parameterless? Parameterless. Why you are going for parameterless method? It doesn't require any
Logic not dependent on
Do not require outside data.
yeah, the functionality of the method doesn't require any value. Okay, so that's why it is what? Parameterless method. Okay, right. Now go for let's start. I want to consume this method. I want to invoke this method. Whenever you want to call this method, this you can call from which method? Main method. Why? Because postman will come. One minute. Postman will come to your house. So he will call you from where? Main door. Okay, he will not go to the hall and he will call you like that. Your program execution starts by main, controlling by main, stop by main. So any method if you want to call, you can call from which method right now? Main method. Okay. Later we'll see other styles also. Okay, right. Now from the main method, I want to call this method. If I want to call this method, what I need?
object need to be created.
Object needs to be created.
Object. Why you need object? Because it is what method?
Instance method.
Instance method. Instance method. If you want to create what, if you want to call what, you need what? Object. Object for class.
My class.
Tell me, what is this? Tell me.
My class.
My class. My class obj equal to new my class over a right. So that is a story. Now how to invoke that method? Show method. obj
Object dot
OBJ
method.
Method name.
show. Show.
show. Last statement should be console dot
Readline.
console dot readline. Yes. Console dot what is that? Readline. Okay. Now, yeah, this is the story. Okay, guys. Yeah. Now you have written like this. Now let's try to understand the execution flow. Try to understand the execution flow. What's happening there, right? Whenever you compile this application, compiled, next you execute it. It will execute what is happening. Okay. Your output is not matter for us. Okay. We are least bothered about outputs. We are understanding about tracing memory allocation. Whenever you run this application, program execution starts by which method?
Main.
Main method.
Main method.
Execution starts by main method. You remember? Okay. So now control is going to execute. I'm going to do what you know. I'm doing tracing here and I'm showing you the memory allocations. Right. You see guys, what exactly is happening. Main method is executing. As part of the main method, this is the first statement, second statement and third statement. So let's say first statement is executed. First it will create what? New. It will execute what? New. New will do what?
It will create an object.
Create an object
Create an object
It will
of
create
my class.
object.
for my class.
Object. 1 minute.
Is object of my class.
Object of my class. Object of which class? My class. That object address is 1010. Generally, object will contain what? Instance
Data.
variables. What object will contain instance variables?
Data.
Or instance methods.
Address method. Right now, my class contain any instance variables?
No.
Any instance methods?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why it will hold the address of a instance method called
True.
show. So this is address of instance method. That address is holding by the object. After this, my class of nothing but constructor is calling. Next, LHS will execute. That LHS will create a variable. What is the name of the variable? OBJ. OBJ data type is what?
My class.
My class.
Class.
My class.
Default value is what? Null.
No.
Default value is what? Null. Next, after this, control will execute what? Assignment operator.
Assignment.
This assignment operator is doing what? Assigning
Address of
Address of the my class.
1010 means OBJ is pointing to this object. OBJ is pointing to this object. Are you clear, everybody? Now, after this line execution completely completed, now control is going to execute this one. OBJ. OBJ is what? Reference variable. The reference variable is holding the address of the object. That object is holding the address of the show method. That's why obj dot show means you can invoke a method called what? Show.
So.
Are you understanding?
yes, sir.
Show method you are able to invoke with the help of what? OBJ. Why? Because OBJ is a reference variable. The reference variable is holding the address of the object. That object is holding the address of the
Method.
method. That's why show method you are getting because of with the help of OBJ. Whenever you say OBJ dot show, your control will go to where?
Reference data type.
Address of the show method.
The control will go to show method. And show method will be executing. Show method is giving a message called what?
Show method is invoked.
Show method is calling. You will get the message. Show method is calling. You will get. After this, console dot readline will execute. Console dot readline is holding the command prompt window. Once you pressed enter, console.readline will be leaving the command prompt window. Control will encounter the closing brace. Closing brace of
Main method.
method. Main method execution is completed. Main method execution is completed. My question to you all the guys, in this program, do we have any local variables?
No.
No, sir.
No, sir.
In this program, do we have any local variable?
No.
Like OBJ is local variable.
Yes.
No, OBJ is the reference variable.
Created one variable. The variable is what? OBJ. OBJ is a variable. The variable created within the method. Which method? Main method. OBJ is what variable? Local variable. Local variable. Local variable will be destroyed once method execution is
Completed. Completed.
once it is encountered the closing brace. The local variable of the main method will be destroyed. Then the object will become as
Null.
unreferred object అంటారు.
So it is a class level variable, sir.
1 minute. Unreferred object. Please mute yourself. Somewhere noise. Unreferred object. Before it is referred by some variable. Right now it's the variable is destroyed. That's why the object became as what object?
Unreferred.
Referred out.
Nobody are referring. That object is called unreferred object. This unreferred object is going to destroy by the
Garbage collector.
garbage collector. How it will destroy, that is different story, memory management. But up to that you remember that once main method execution is completed, main method local variables will be destroyed. In main method we have one local variable that is called OBJ. But OBJ is a reference type variable. Whether it is value type variable, reference type variable is not a matter. The variable is declared within the main method. That's why it is called which variable? Local variable. Local variable will be destroyed once method execution is completed. Local variable will be destroyed once method execution is completed. So with this we can say the object is become as variable is destroyed and object is become as unreferred object. Unreferred objects are going to destroy by the garbage collector according to the memory management mechanism. That is a big topic again. Are you clear up to your understood?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
But it is a deep depth level teaching. You know, in the depth also we are into only entry level, first level. So are you really enjoying? Then we can go ahead. Otherwise we can teach here and there.
Yes, sir.
Are you getting all of?
Interesting, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is one model. And if you want to get more clarity, you need to better to work on another example. Then you will get clarity now. Okay, now we'll do one thing. Second program. Example to define one class with two instance methods. Void method without parameters. Second also void method without parameters. Two methods. Void method without parameters, void method without parameters. Now I will give you the UML. Okay, class name is my class. Method names are print, display, display. Simple. Your method functionalities are not a big deal for us. Print method, if you will call, it should display a message. Print method is calling. Display method, if you will call, it should display message. Display method is calling. Display method is calling. Okay, now display method is calling. Right. Right. Okay. Display method is calling. Print method is calling. Display method is calling. Right. Okay, guys. Right.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Now, come on. Do it fast.
Sir. Sir, print and display both should be within the my class, right?
Yeah. Both are members of my class. That's why I said
Okay.
two methods in a class. Class method example 2. Class my class. Ask my class. Ask my class. Method exam. Sorry, name, my class. First method is what? Printer.
Yes, sir.
Print. Print method is calling. Print method is calling. Next to internal display.
Display.
Void display. Console dot write line.
Right, right.
Display
Display method is
method is calling. Display method is calling. Print method is calling. Display method is calling. Right? Yeah. Now, my class obj. You have to create what object. Next, obj dot
method.
what? Obj dot print.
Print method.
Obj dot
Display method.
obj dot display.
Display.
Obj dot display. Obj dot display. So, obj dot print. Obj dot display. Okay, na? Right.
I think semicolon is missing in the class.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay, fine.
Sorry.
Fine. So done now. Everybody written class like this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Next to yes. Next, right. You observe. Right. Right. Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay, guys. Now you observe compilation and execution. You can see the output. This is output, but this is not matter for us. How exactly it's happening, how the program is executing internally is matter for us. When you run this application, memory allocation. Have you done memory allocation for this also?
Yes, sir.
Right. Let me explain. Main method is executing. As part of main method, control is executing what? New. New. New will create what? Object.
Object.
Yes. New will create what? Object. See, this will consume lot of time. Lot of time. At the time of explaining, students will say super awesome, enjoying like that. Once end of the oops, they will say lot of time we spent for oops, sir. Right. And yeah, and yes, object of you will create
My class.
object of
Object of my class.
my
This
class.
is the
Object of my class. 10
Reference to
10 10. And but when object is created, that object is holding the address of the methods. First
print and
method
display.
print
print and display.
it will hold the address of the print method. It will hold the address of the display method.
Display method.
Display method. And address of the object will be 1010. And constructor will be calling, and LHS will create a reference variable. The reference variable is obj. Obj of which type? My class. My class. Default value is null. And once LHS also created. Next assignment. Assignment is assigning address. 1010 is pointing like this. Now whenever you say obj.print, print method is calling, obj.display, display method is calling, console.readline, which is holding the command prompt window. Once you entered, press enter button, readline will leave the command prompt window. Once it is encountered the closing brace of the main method. Main method, on behalf of main method, we have done one, there is a local variable. What is a local variable here? Obj.
Object.
Variable will be destroyed. Then the object as what object?
Unreferenced object.
It will be
Unreferred.
moved to
Local.
As unreferred object. Unreferred object is going to destroy with the garbage collector. That is different story. Okay, na? So that is the story about this. Okay. So you do one thing like that. You write different programs. You write different programs. And did you complete all logical programs assignments?
Not yet, sir. We'll complete them.
How many are completed? Logical programs, all assignments are completed. Anybody?
Sir, I could not get 92, 93, sir.
Right. You try your level best. This is weekend. We have 2 days holidays now. Next class will be on
Yeah.
You try your level best to complete logical programs. When you come to Monday, you should say, I completed all. And try this OOPS programs also, assignments in OOPS. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And that is up to you. How long, like how importance you will give for assignments, that much result you will get. Right. Yeah, you have to dedicate a time for .NET as part of the training is going on. So somebody will feel that let me attend course now, I'll do labs later. It will never happen. Nothing will happen. Cinema is going to clap. Okay. Right. So now, yes, let me give you some assignments here. Some assignments. Some easy to, okay, I'm consuming lot of time for that memory allocations. You need that type of subject.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right.
We need.
Task 103, I think just a week. You try this what 103, similar only, just you try one more time. Huh? 103, 104, 104, 104, 105, 105. Anyhow, we will discuss on Monday again all this. Meanwhile, nothing wrong to try now. 106, 106, 107, 107, 108, 108, 109, 109. That's it. Up to 109. Starting is 103. Can you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much. We'll meet on Monday. You complete all these things by Monday. And who need that license keys? You send me.
Sir, Sukanya.
Yeah, you send me a mail. I'll forward the license keys. All versions I'll forward. You try all one by one according to your version. Okay. You try first license key.